Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're doing this. I just want to begin the class with just one short quote from Joseph Campbell that I find very helpful these days. Participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. We cannot cure the world of sorrows, but we can choose to live in joy. So that seems a very useful thing for me. We can choose to live in joy. And uh, I'm going to work with the idea of attention today. Mary Oliver, in her book Upstream Selected Essays, wrote attention is the beginning of devotion. So I'm just going to sit in a butterfly here, and you can have blocks underneath if you like to keep up your um, legs. Or you could have, and I have a strap here, block. I think that's all I need actually. And a little teeny pillow to put underneath my neck because I have a bad neck. So the blocks, if your legs are up here and it's uncomfortable, you can put something underneath your legs here to prop yourself up. Otherwise, you're okay. And here I'm sitting with my feet together. Baddha Konasana is up here, and butterfly is here with a nice open V here. And I'm just going to put my index finger and my thumb together, touching, and my palms up here. And I have to find a place for them. They're not really okay. I'm going to put them right here, but you find your place for your arms. Maybe out here is better. Um, and I'm going to just have those words roaming around my head. Attention is the beginning of devotion. And last night I taught a class out in a very beautiful evening, looking up at the gorgeous blue sky in a community garden that was filled with hollyhocks and poppies and squash and zucchini and carrots and lettuces, and it was just lush. It was such a beautiful full garden, series of gardens, like about 15 different gardens. And it was made into a kind of labyrinth, a series of circles. And we were just on the grassy bit beside it. And while I was there, I was really trying to invite us all to pay attention to our body, to what's inside, to the spaces, to the air, to the heat, the watery bits, to the ground beneath us. And just inhale and exhale and be present. And we're inhaling and exhaling through our nose. And choosing joy. That's not to say that we don't have to attend to the world outside of us. We don't have to work for change or connect with others who are struggling for a better world. It just means that when we can, we choose joy. And I can't think of a better way to choose joy than to have a regular yoga practice. As a depressive, I was depressed really much of my earlier adult life when I was completely stressed out and working and mothering and having no time. I didn't really take the time to do much yoga, and I really regret it. I think it would have helped me enormously. So when I do yoga, I feel yoga is all about choosing joy. Now let's open our eyes. Let's fold our legs up here. Stretch our feet out and come back and just sit in Dandasana, just putting our hands beside our hips, pressing into the floor, feeling our sit bones on the floor, and feeling the energy moving from our heels that we're pressing out into the room all the way through to our hips and up through our ribs and our sternum, up our neck, right up into the top of our head. So we can feel as though we are a conductor of energy. And the energy is partially our breath that's invigorating us, filling us up. Good. Now let's just rotate our hips out and then rotate them back in. Rotate them out and in. All we're doing is moving that synovial fluid around our hips. And let's draw our one leg back and then forward, and then the other leg back and forward. Just move our hips this way. Feel you can imagine the intersection of the hips and the leg bones. Good. All right. Let's rotate our ankles just for some joint mobility and our wrists, feeling the uh, creakiness. I like doing this because I like the way I feel afterwards. And now we're going to point our toe and make fists. We're going to point our toes and make fists. And then we're going to spread our toes out and our feet, stretching, and our hands. We're going to point our toes and make fists, and then spread our toes out and our hands. Good. All right. Let's just bring our right foot up and put it in to our seated tree pose here, and twist slightly towards that leg. You could have a strap here if you like, just to afford you some movement down. And here I'm stretching out through the heel of the foot, and I'm feeling uh, the hamstring um, all the way along. There's no you shouldn't feel any sharp pain in the attachments, in the tendons that attach at the top. You should be feeling a long stretch, and if you uh, pull back on your toes, you'll spark some energy in your calf, which will really extend that hip, sorry, that hamstring stretch. Good. And I'm just moving down here first with a straight back. And then if you don't have any pain in your lower back, then you can just fold over. And the movement here, I just remind us, is the crown of the head towards the foot. So it's a movement of elongation, as well as a movement down. There's no point in just crunching down and not feeling the elongation. And if that means you're up here, perfectly fine. No competition, just growth and transformation and resilience. All right, now we're going to come up again, and then we're going to stretch the other leg out and do the same thing. So here we go. We're going to just rotate slightly towards that leg and come down with either a strap or without, and you can clasp your shins or your foot or wherever. You could draw your toes back potentially with a strap or with your hands. And this will once again uh, help your uh, lengthening of that hamstring. All right. Very nice. And now let's come up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do some stretches out with our legs extended. And once again, we're going to sit up on our sit bones. You could, if you like, and this is a good thing to do, if you want to tilt your hips forward, especially if you find this a strain on your lower back, then you just add a little blanket underneath your hips, and it'll lift you up enough to tilt you forward. And you are then already afforded an opportunity to feel that slight tilt forward. All right, here we are. I'm just going to walk with my little mouse feet out towards the center of the room. And then I'm going to walk over to one side and clasp wherever I can on the leg. And here I'm going to stretch the inner arm, especially. And I'm stretching the fingertips in one direction and I'm drawing that hip back in the other. So we're um, making sure that's really a nice long stretch. And now I'm going to turn the side of my body to the leg and lift up with my arm over my ear. And this is a really powerful side body stretch. And you could lower your hand down, your bottom arm down to the floor if you can. And here we're just opening the ribs up to the sky if we can. It's demanding, so you take your time and move incrementally. Good. And now we're going to come up and we'll do the same thing. We're going to just pivot over. Okay, we did the mice feet. So let's mouse feet our way over to the side and stretch out over that foot, feeling that lengthening. And then let's go on to the side body here. And you can put your arm on your leg. You could hold on to your toe. You could put your forearm on the floor, depending on where your body moves. And you lift your upper arm up over towards your ear. And you can curve your arm up. Each side is different, and you'll find that it allows you more movement or not. And here I am, just really stretching, stretching, stretching. And I'm coming back. And now I'm putting my feet together and I'm curving over. Good. Let's move up now. And let's just do a twist because we're here on the floor. We're in this lovely position on our mat, and we're going to just do a quick twist. So I've got one leg over and the other leg bent. You could keep the bottom leg straight. I'm pressing into the back hand, the back fingers, and I'm lifting up. Both of my hips are on the floor, and I'm really stretching up here. Then I'm turning from the waist to the side. And here I could hold on to my leg or I could uh, lift up. And I feel these lovely little cracks and creaks as my spine adjusts slightly in this move around. And now I am coming back, pressing into the floor here and lifting up. And then I'm going to stretch my legs out and lift this other foot out, up and over, bend that bottom foot, or you could leave it straight out and come back. Here I'm pressing into this foot and I'm pressing into the back hand, stretching up that hand, twisting towards the raised knee and lifting up. And the breath is really into the open side body and the chest and the back. So you've got a lot of space for your breath to move inside. And you're breathing through your nose and lifting up as you turn. So we're inhaling as we lift up and exhaling, we might turn a bit more. And we're lifting up with our in-breath and we might turn a little bit more. Good. All right, let's turn around, stretch our feet out, and let's move onto our hands and knees. we're just going to do some balancing here on our hands and knees with our bird dog, and some strengthening movements. I've been taking some classes with my former Pilates teacher who teaches a kind of fusion course. So I'm integrating some of her movements. So here we go. We're lifting up the one arm and then the opposite leg into bird dog. We're balancing, trying to imagine the hips are even, drawing in the belly, and feeling that you have a seat belt on your lower abdomen. So you have some muscle tension there. And my Pilates, another Pilates instructor, always reminds me to keep that seatbelt on as I'm walking, about 20%. We don't really have, it's important to keep those abdominal muscles working in order to help our posture and to maintain our core and lower back. Good. Now let's try the other side. Good. One side might be easier than the other. This side seems to be much easier for me. The other is a bit of a strain. And you're just looking down at the floor. So your neck is in line with your spine. Good. And now here we're going to draw the knee in to the elbow and exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And now bring that down. We'll do the other side, stretching that other arm up and leg. And we're drawing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, exhaling, 3, exhaling 2, 1. Very nice. All right. Let's come back into child's pose. And really let go here. We're going to walk our hands over to our right side, stretching out the left hand and the left hip in opposite directions. And then we're going to come back, walking back, stretching out the right fingertips and the right hip. Good. All right. And just settle in. You can put your forehead on the floor. You could draw your arms back and just rest for a moment. Take a few moments attending to your body and your breath, devoting some time to yourself in the midst of a busy day. Good. All right. So let's just come up and do our toe squat, because it's that time of the morning and our toes need attention. So I'm drawing my toes under and I'm coming back and sitting on my heels. And it may or may not be pleasant. If it's really unpleasant, you shouldn't feel pain. You might feel discomfort. You can go back and forth into it. Or if you like, you can just go and stay in child's pose for a bit and rest. But here I'm sitting on my feet. I'm going to open my arms out and look up at my thumbs, and then open them out again and look up at my thumbs, open them out again. Now I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back, stretch my chest open, bring my hands down as I'm opening up my chest, and really have a lovely back bend here. Good. Then I'm going to open my arms up, walk my fingers towards my spine. Then I'm bending my elbows, bringing the backs of my hands together, and then clasping my thumb or bringing the palms together. And now I'm in eagle arms, and I'm just drawing the elbows up and drawing the hands forward, opening our shoulders here as well as our toes. Now I'm going to open my arms out. The other arm is going to come underneath, and I'm going to do the same thing, bending the elbows. Oh, let's crawl I find this very helpful actually. Crawling our fingers towards our spine really allows us to open those shoulders, get those elbows so they're in the right position. And once again, we're drawing those uh, um, elbows up slightly and drawing the hands forward. All right. Good. Now let's open those arms out again and rotate the shoulders. And we'll come down and we'll just slap our feet, which are at this point crying out for attention. Slap the fronts of the feet. That will feel very good. And then turn the toes under again. And we're going to walk back into a downward dog. Just find that wonderful opening here in your back body. You can bend your feet, your knees one at a time, pedaling out, walking the dog, as they say, and really pedaling out your your dog, working with your hamstrings. They're already warmed up from our earlier movements, so that's good. Here we go. Good. All right. Now let's just lift our right leg up, point the toe, and then bend the knee, drop the foot towards the glute, and you can have your um, one hip over top of the other as you are trying to keep your shoulders level. So it's a very odd little twist here, but a good one. And we're going to straighten that leg up again and bring it down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And we could do wild thing here, but so here I'm dropping my foot towards my glute, opening up that hip, and then lifting the hip above the other while I'm maintaining shoulder in a balanced position. Good, I'm stretching back on that thigh. All right, lift the toe up and then drop it down. And now we're just going to walk our hands back towards our feet with our knees bent or straight, you decide. And we're going to dangle here slightly, just for a few moments. Really feeling the beautiful, beautiful possibilities of the dangle, which of course is forward fold in Hatha yoga. In yin, it's a dangle. I like the descriptive part of dangle. Really suggests you're letting your upper body go and you're not having any tension at all. Now, your lower body is quite strong, and you might feel stretch all the way along if you have straight legs. You don't want, once again, overstretching in these attachments up here because it takes months and months for that to go away. I did that when I was doing my advanced teacher training, and it was very irritating for quite a long time. Takes a while to heal. So here we are. You could bend one knee and the other, just feeling the opening of that. And when you're moving in these poses, you're actually affording an opportunity to stretch different muscle groups. So you're not just stretching one aspect of the muscle. There might be several muscles. There's a number of muscles in the glutes. So when you're moving back and forth, you are really giving an equal opportunity for all of those muscles to be stretching out. All right. So let's just roll up very slowly, vertebra by vertebra, finding your way to a standing position. Here we are. Good. And I'm going to just work on a little flow here. We'll come to standing. We'll find Tadasana again. See how our body feels. Does it feel any different than it did before? Does it feel that we are now ready for some more active movements? So here we'll just open our arms out, and we'll come into a warrior two pose. And we're finding strength here. We're imagining air currents are moving up from below. So we're imaginatively pressing our arms down. This isometric movement is really strengthening our muscles and working with our bones. And when we're in this pose, we're drawing our thighs back and feeling that we are pressing that T behind our knees to really straighten our legs. Now, if you hyperextend, of course, you want to keep your knees slightly bent. But this is we can really straighten out. Now let's bend our knees slightly and turn one foot towards the short end of the mat. We're going to bend into warrior two here and find your space. What is a good space for you? This knee is moving over your foot. Very nice. And we're just going to now extend out. I have a block here. I'm going to drop my hand to the block. You could drop it any level, and this hand over. And I'm rotating my hips, my ribs towards the sky here. Good. And feeling the tension between my fingertips, the outside edge of my back foot, and the strength of this. Now you could come down lower, or you could come down to the ground, depending on your body's mobility. Good. And now we're pressing into the front foot. We're going to come back into warrior pose, feeling the strength there. Straighten up that leg, draw the hand down the back, and arc that arm over. Very nice. And we're going to do that again a bit faster. So we're coming down into warrior, stretching out. If you want to, you can put your forearm on your thigh and stretch up here. Extended side angle, variation. And then we're pressing back into that warrior two and then pressing up again. We'll do that a few more times. It's a really lovely move. Good. Stretching out again. Once again, you have variations on how you want to work with your blocks or your thigh. And then stretching up again just to warrior two, finding that form, then straightening that leg and coming back into, I think this is called gentle warrior. These have variable names, these backward ones. Okay, stretching out again and down and over. And then pressing into the front foot, just coming up into that and then stretching and coming back. Very good. Now let's just rotate our feet here and come over to the other side. Good. So we're finding our center here, finding the strength in our legs, bending the front knee and lifting up. And our breath is coordinated with our movements. So here we're just breathing through our nose. You can look at the front hand here. And the movement here is down, down, down. We're trying to sink a little bit in this pose. Our front knee is at 45 degrees approximately. And our tailbone is sinking down here. Good. Now let's stretch out. We can draw our forearm to our thigh, our hand over top. Feel those ribs rotating to the sky. You can look up at your hand if you like. And then coming back into our warrior pose, stretching up again and back into warrior two, stretching out and coming over. And then back into warrior two, up. And then warrior two again, stretching out and coming back. Last time up into warrior two, stretching up into gentle warrior, and then back into warrior two. All the time breathing through our nose. And up one more time and stretch. Good. All right. So we're going to wiggle our feet back in. We're going to do just a pyramid pose here for our legs. So we're 1 foot behind. The feet are on, they're not behind each other. They're on sort of train tracks. And both of our toes are facing towards the short end of the mat. Our hands are in our hip creases. We're going to come forward, and you might, depending on your mobility and your flexibility, you might want to come down here. So we're coming down, so we're just tilting down here. You could have your fingers on blocks here. You could do this onto a table or the kitchen counter, and that's perfectly a good idea. You could really, because when you have it on something, you can really stretch that. You want to draw this back, this front hip back. So you do you. And here we are. We're really, you could let's lift the toes up. That should spark your insteps coming up. And that might help spark your calf muscles to stretch as well as other parts of your hamstring. Good. So here we go. I'm just going to put a block on the floor on the inside of my foot. And then you can either just stay in that pyramid pose. If your back allows it, you could just come down and dangle over that front leg. And then if you feel like it, you can do a reverse triangle here. So I'm just putting the block on the inside of the front foot, pressing my hand down, and then I'm drawing my other arm up and trying to face the back wall. All the time I'm trying to draw that front hip back and feel the power of this pose. It's a demanding pose. You can also do it on the wall with your front foot, the side of your front foot beside the wall. And then when you turn in, you can press your arm into the wall, and that allows you really to lengthen. All right, and now we're going to do the whirling dervish exit from this pose. So we're pressing into our feet, and we're going to try and stand up and rotate to the front. There we go. Good. All right, so let's try the other side. Very nice move here. Once again, a 3 foot, approximately 3 feet. So it's a shorter stance. The feet are train tracks. The block is on the inside of the front foot. We're drawing the front hip back and settling over that leg. The spine is straight here. We're really feeling a stretch in the front hamstring, especially. But the back leg, we're pressing the thigh back. So that leg is, and now we can just dangle over here. We could be on blocks, or you can just allow yourself to move over here. Let's lift our toes up, sparking the instep and sparking the activation of the calves. Good. And let's put our hands down here and then rotate if you're up for it. Otherwise, you can just stay in that little dangling pyramid, or you can rotate to the back. So this is the reverse triangle. And you'll feel the stretch in that hip that's going back, front hip that's going back, in your arm lifting up, and in your spine rotating. All right, I'm bringing that arm down. And this time, I'm just going to lift my arms up around my ears and come up with straight arms. Exhaling. Good. Opening out and coming back. So that feels like a very modest workout, but with lots and lots of energy and strength building. Let's just do, before we go into the softer parts of the practice, let's just do a plank here. See how our planks are doing. So it's good to just stay in a plank for a bit and really strengthen our arms and our shoulders and our back and our core, because here we're drawing our belly in and we're tightening that seatbelt slightly in our lower abdomen. Good. Very nice. You could lift one leg up and then the other. And now let's just come down into child's pose, stretching our arms out in front of us and feeling that lovely massaging of our whole body that child's pose is. It allows you to really deeply relax here. And pressing our hands in to the mat, we're going to turn onto our back and come down. Got a lot of debris here. I'm going to move it out of the way. I do have a little pillow here for my neck. I have bone spurs in my neck. I have to be careful. But anyone could benefit potentially from having this occipitable part of the bone in your head, putting something underneath it just to slightly raise your the back of your head. This affords the elongation of your neck in the back. It's a very good thing. So I'm going to just, here I'm lifting my knees up, stretching my feet up, pointing my toes, rotating them, rotating my wrists, shaking my fingers out, just making spidery movements with my toes. So this is a lovely dead bug pose, a kind of active dead bug pose where dead bug is really just really allowing you to settle into your stillness of Shavasana later. I sometimes integrate some movement of my fingers and toes just to give me a little bit more mobility in them. All right, if you like, you can lay your hands down beside you and just open out your legs here, pointing your toes, rotating your ankles, and then the other way, and then drawing them back in, bending your knees, drawing them into your chest, putting your feet down. And we're going to just do a couple of bridge movements here, just pressing our feet into the ground, placing them near our hips, tilting our tailbone up, and rotating up vertebra by vertebra. You could hold on to the outside edge of your mat here while you're doing this, and then rotating down slowly. And we'll do that another time, just tilting the tailbone up, rotating and lifting up vertebra by vertebra, pressing our pelvis into the ceiling, our ribs And our knees are moving in the opposite direction to the opposite wall. And we're pressing into our feet, really opening up that chest. You could draw your hands underneath you, clasp your hands, and press your arms into the ground as well, lifting your chest up and breathing into that open chest. Good. Now let's come down vertebra by vertebra, stretching our arms along the floor towards our feet and settling into, once again, that stillness. Let's lift one leg up, put the ankle on the upper thigh, just below the knee, and then lift that leg up, put your hand through the keyhole in figure 4, and draw the knee into the chest, pressing the other elbow into the thigh of the foot. So you're drawing one knee in and you're pressing the other knee out here. And I like to wiggle a little bit, move, rock slightly in this pose. It massages my lower back, and it also for its different kinds of stretches in my glute. Good. All right. Opening out your arms wide. We're just going to drop that foot to the floor, and you can let the knees fall if you like. And I'm looking at the opposite hand. And I am, if I feel like it, I could make an arc with my arm, and got all kinds of stuff in the way here, but just go all the way around. So you can bend your elbow if you need to as you're going around, if you're in a confined space. And this is just, once again, shoulder opening, and it feels very nice. It's like an internal massage, really. Very good. Now let's just stretch both arms out, and we're going to draw those legs back to the center, put both feet on the ground, find the center of your neutral spine here, and then lift the other leg up, draw it in, and once again, arms through the keyhole, draw in the shin, or you could have your arms in the back of the thigh and extend the other thigh out here. Very nice. Breathing here, just feeling that lovely opening of the thigh. And here you can feel your glute muscles. Very nice. Now let's drop that, open the arms out, drop the foot to the ground, and you can let the knees drop if you like. You can also use this hand, you can put your hand gently on the thigh and draw that slightly deeper, deepening your twist. And here we're opening this clock-like second hand, and we are drawing it around. And you'll find that you might have a sticky spot. Say, I have a sticky spot at, say, about, I don't know, about 11 o'clock. And so I just move back and forth slightly, and then I'll open it out again. So there's no pain here. There might be some discomfort. The discomfort you can move towards, test it out, move away from it, find your edge, and then go back to it. So we're opening out our arms again, shifting our weight back to the center, putting 2 feet on the ground. And here we're just going to do windshield wiper just to even out our hips. So we're putting our feet at the outer edges of our mat, and we're dropping our knees in one direction and then in the other. And if in this pose, in this movement rather, if you want to extend your hip flexor slightly, you could lift that hip up And feel the opening of your hip flexor here. Feels quite good. And it's an easy stretch of the hip flexor because we're on our back. It's quite passive, really. And we're just massaging our hips at the end of the class and feeling our legs, an internal and external rotation. Good. All right. And now, in your own time, find your place of Shavasana or corpse pose. And here you could be on your side in a fetal position. You could be on your stomach. You could be sitting up. I'm just going to stretch out here for a moment. And I am lifting my shoulders up and drawing my shoulder blades down the back so that my chest is very open here. And I'm just, you can just relax into the floor. I'm imagining I'm in a garden of hollyhocks and poppies and big leaf squash plants and gorgeous lettuces of various varieties. And I'm just breathing here. Feeling everything relax, feeling the skin on my scalp and my forehead, my cheeks. My jaw is relaxing, my chest and my arms and fingers, my waist, my belly, my ribs, my hip bones and pelvis, my legs and feet, my head and my neck. Sometimes the desire to be lost again, as long ago, comes over me like a vapor. With growth into adulthood, responsibilities claimed me. So many heavy coats. I didn't choose them. I don't fault them, but it took time to reject them. Now in the spring, I kneel. I put my face into the packets of violets, the dampness, the freshness, the sense of ever-ness. Something is wrong. I know it. if I don't keep my attention on eternity. May I be the tiniest nail in the house of the universe, tiny but useful. May I stay forever in the stream. May I look down upon the windflower and the bull thistle and the coreopsis with the greatest respect. Attention is the beginning of devotion. And I'll invite you to simply stretch out your arms and your legs, move your body the way you need to. You might draw your knees into your chest. You might turn onto your side, and you might come up into a sitting position. Otherwise, you could just stay in Shavasana, in that deep relaxation. I'm going to thank you for joining me today and for attending to your body, devoting time to your body in the midst of a pretty chaotic world and and no doubt a busy life. The teacher and the student in me sees and honors the teacher and student in you. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Deep bows to all of you. And the merit of this practice, I'm dedicating to those who are suffering everywhere, all living beings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you next time.